Hey, friends, welcome back to Strength Happens. Today's episode is a really special one. It's personal, it's meaningful, and it's something that has become a powerful tradition over the past 11 years.
Yes, I'm so excited that we're doing an episode on one of my favorite times of year now. We're going to be talking today about the Halle Grace Toy Drive. This is something that my family started to honor our daughter, Halle Grace, and it's part of the Halle Grace Foundation that this podcast is also part of.
I'm excited to be able to talk to you about it today because I've seen and experienced the joy that it has provided to, I don't even know how many kids would you say that it's impacted?
Well, in the past 11 years, we've collected probably close to 10,000 toys.
Holy
So,
crap. So
yeah.
that's pretty amazing. So that's a lot of little people.
Yes, yes.
Well, June 2nd is Hallie's birthday, the day she came into this world. And over time, that day became something more.
Yeah, it's still pretty emotional for me. It always will be her
Of
birthday.
course it will.
And I think whenever someone has children, their children's birthdays are always surrounded with birthday parties and gifts and cards and celebration. And, Hallie's the one who made me a mom.
Mhm.
So that day also had significant meaning because she was my oldest and it was when I first became a mom.
Mhm.
So we wanted to find a way to continue to find joy in the day that is so special. We didn't want sadness associated with her birthday.
Mhm.
So this tradition of the toy drive has given that day, June 2nd, a day of purpose in a way we could never really imagine how much it's grown. So.
Oh, I can't imagine that it's difficult to turn something so sad into something so positive and to help provide joy for you and your family, along with all those kids that you've been able to bless over the years. So, today we want to share the story behind the toy drive, how it started, and what it's become, and how you can be part of it. So, Jill, I know this is going to be a hard one, but can you share a little bit about Hallie and what June 2nd means to you?
Absolutely. Yeah, tears are already flowing. I knew this would be a tough one, but
Mm.
I think, the more years that pass, you want that child to still be such a significant role in your life, and when Hallie passed, she was so worried we'd stop saying her name when she was in hospice. She was worried we'd stop saying her name and then we'd stop, like, talking about her. How
Mm.
crazy, 'cause she was such a cool human that touched so many lives. So that's the reason we talked about starting the Halle Grace Foundation the year she passed away. The foundation has 3 core elements: reaching medical professionals to educate them on the human side of medicine.
Mhm.
As professionals, we call it the psychosocial impact of
Mm.
medicine, but it's really for us, it's the human side of medicine. We've started this podcast, which has been such a gift to me this past year to help support families with children with diagnoses. But the toy drive is the part that impacts the children. And when Hallie was in the hospital, she loved when the toy cart came by because it was a distraction. We could go buy things at Target, but it's something about having the hospital give you a gift.
Right.
Whether it was during infusion in the infusion clinic or it was an admission or it was
Mhm.
in the ER, someone coming by with a toy cart and she got to pick
Yeah.
was such a special thing to do. And so when she passed away, we wanted to still celebrate her birthday. We wanted
Mm.
to find a way that June 2nd didn't have that rain cloud over us, that we could do something that brings us joy. So now, June 2nd, every year, we deliver toys to children's hospitals. And for me, it's still a day of celebration.
Mm.
And Hallie's fears are so far gone because we still share her story, we still share her name, and we're so excited because June 2nd has become so powerful, and it's actually grown so much more. We've continued the toy drive in Florida. Neely was able to collect several toys in North Carolina in grad school. Some of her grad school cohort donated money, and they'll go to Duke Children's Hospital. And then one of Hallie's friends from high school and childhood is collecting in Chicago area, Wisconsin area. So we're in, 4 states. It's super exciting. So June 2nd is a special day for me now.
That's really exciting. The reach has extended so far from a little town in Florida.
Yes,
Mm.
yes. From Valrico to we're getting into the Midwest and East Coast, and my dream would be that June 2nd, anyone who wants to help can deliver toys to a children's hospital near them and send us pictures, and we can post it on our story and share it on our podcast and
That would be
let people
awesome.
know. Yeah. Let it let it be toy drive day
Yep.
for many hospitals. And actually, June 2nd's a beautiful time of year for many hospitals because they get a lot of donations at Christmas, and then
Mhm.
they get a lot of donations they do at Christmas in July. But right at the beginning of June, they're pretty much most hospitals we've worked with are down to the bottom of their closet for toys. So it's a really great time of year to be able to donate.
You're filling the gap
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, there's so much love in that story, and even in the hardest parts, I bet at the beginning you can't even imagine that it woulda went from where you started to today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's come a long way. It's come a long way for sure. And it's grown so much, so
You kinda gave us a little bit of a overview of how the toy drive began in the first place. Was there a moment where you knew you wanted to do something with June 2nd? Did you have other ideas prior to settling in on the toy drive?
yeah, so we had several ideas of what we wanted to do. Her birthday was June 2nd.
Mhm,
She passed away July 19th. She was 15. So we had almost a whole year before we had to face her birthday again.
mhm.
And when you lose a child, that first year is very difficult.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think the second year is harder because you're so numb the first year. But her birthday was getting close to almost being a full year of her being gone. And we were like, how can we celebrate her?
Mhm.
So we had incorporated a few traditions. We knew we wanted to throw
Yeah.
a birthday party for her, but this idea of the Troy Drive just kind of organically occurred because we were like, we're going to buy gifts for our kids every year, but we don't have her here with us to buy gifts.
Mm,
So our first toy drive was kind of small. We just put it out to some of our friends. Her local teachers at our local elementary school
mhm.
donated, our friends donated, like you. And we hosted a little birthday party at the house where we had Oreo cupcakes, her favorite,
Yeah.
Jelly Bellies, their favorite candy. And we always have mango ale on her birthday. I know this seems silly, but when she was in hospice, she went into hospice the 4th of July weekend, and the doctor's like, "Let her try everything that she wants." So, of course, we're like, "She's not gonna live to be a drinking age." So she's like, "I wanna try your wine you drink." And I was like, "Okay, have a sip."
Yeah.
She hated it. So she wanted to try her daddy's beer. She hated it. So we're like, she loved mangoes, and so we found a mango ale, and we let her try that, and she drank like a tall boy.
Yeah.
It's
Ooh.
so bad. Yeah. So now it's kind of our fun tradition that we have mango ale, and your son Matthew helped us deliver one year, and he
Yep.
wasn't quite 21 yet, I don't
I think he was
remember,
like 18.
but he helped us deliver, and we let him have a little sip of the mango ale, and I remember, my kids are rule followers, and they're like, "Wait, he's not," and I'm like, "He's not driving home, his mom will come get him, he's having one sip." But it became our tradition, and we do that every year, so we make it a way to celebrate, but for us, knowing that we're gonna bring joy to some children who've gone through what Hallie's gone through,
Mhm.
and whose parents are super supportive, but they're exhausted and tired. And when your kid's in the hospital,
It's a lot.
it's a lot. And so having that little distraction, that little special gift can make such a powerful impact. So it's always fun for us to be able to give back on her birthday and keep those traditions alive and to keep her name alive. And we
Yeah.
put little stickers on that say the Halle Grace Toy Drive,
Mhm.
and it spreads our mission of bringing joy to children on a special day for us. So
Do you have on there anything to share your picture or your story on the Halle Grace page?
yeah, so people can either email us, our
Mm,
email address is on the
yeah.
website. We also have Instagram posts, and they can share it in the chat, and we'll share it to our story, and
Mhm.
we usually write a blog if anyone shares pictures. I also know it's a very vulnerable time for
Right.
children, so if
And it's
parents don't wanna
private
share
too for
pictures,
some.
we totally respect
Yeah.
that. But if people are donating just to the nurses and things like that, we're already collecting pictures, so some
Yeah.
people Neely already sent me a picture of her collection. She's so proud to be in grad school, and to have one of her grad school cohort. These kids are in grad school, and this guy and
Right.
his wife donated $100, and Neely got to go shopping, and it that part of the toy drive helps our healing and
Mhm.
helps us. because people make financial donations, or they can go on our Amazon wish list, or they can go shopping and deliver to a local hospital themselves. But with the donations that do come in monetarily, it gives me a chance when I'm missing Hallie this time of year. I can go shopping and pick out
Mhm.
toys, and I always talk to her when I'm shopping, and we'll always pick out Barbies because that was her favorite, and Monster High
Mhm.
dolls, and gives me a way to honor her legacy and her love and her joy she had in life, and she loved toys.
Yep.
But it also gives me a way to deal with the grief at this time of year.
Do you have anything that really stands out that first year?
Yeah, it's so funny. The first year we collected, maybe 300 toys or just shy
Which
of
is a
300.
lot for your first year.
Oh,
That
huge.
I would have been
That
like,
was hu
"Woo!"
I know, that was huge for us, and we thought that was so big, but I remember it just being people who loved Hallie, and it was just a way not just for us to process her grief, but for people who loved her and were a part of her life. It's a way for them to continue to honor her.
Mhm.
So that first year, it was really healing because Hallie was only 15 and her friends were
Yeah.
15. And a lot of her friends never lost anybody in their life at that point, but
Yeah.
especially someone their own age. So Lizzie and Caitlin were her two closest friends, and they still to this day,
Mm,
Lizzie helps with the toy drive in Florida, and Caitlin has started the toy drive up in
mm,
Wisconsin and Illinois area. It's powerful because it's helping everybody who wanted to be a part of her life and has been a part of her life, and
mhm.
they continue to keep her legacy alive. So I love that for them.
Yeah. I imagine it was really hard from a friend perspective because they were so young, and it's a hard concept to understand even as an adult. I mean, it's hard to comprehend why, and, it's a lot to deal with.
It truly is, and I think it was that first year, I was still pretty numb, and we were surviving through the first year, so it was wonderful to celebrate her birthday and have her friends over and have our friends over and our family be a part of that day, but some of it's a little fuzzy, like, I don't even
Yeah.
remember delivering toys that year, so for me, the fact that we've kept it going for 11
Mhm.
years has been something that's powerful. I never imagined it'd be at the point where we are today. Like, for Hallie's 21st birthday, we set a goal to collect more than 2,100 toys, and we exceeded that. We were a little over 2,100. For
Wow.
my 50th birthday, I wanted to, fill 50 Sparkle bags because we have Sparkle bags, and we filled them with a stuffed animal, a coloring book, crayons, a toy, and a couple other little things,
Mhm.
stickers and things. And so, we were able to do that. So we try to set goals each year. This year, I have the goal to, be able to donate 50 Sparkle bags to get another bingo on my bingo card against you, even though you already beat me. Um, Biatch!
Ah.
Not that I'm competitive or ill will. Janine is the most laid back person if you guys ever meet her. She's not
Yeah.
as competitive as myself. She competes against herself. When you're racing, you
Yeah.
compete against your guys, but you're not like competitive by nature like me. And I'm
Yeah.
like, damn it, Janine won. But I've already filled, I think, 30 Sparkle bags.
Oh,
I've got
wow.
to do 20 more to get my bingo card.
Is your goal to do
Uh,
that on for the June 2nd deadline,
Yeah,
or is that
for
something different?
my goal is for the June 2nd, so if
Okay.
anyone wants to send donations so we can continue to make more
What's a
sparkle bags.
yeah.
And it's for me, it's powerful because a few years ago, a friend from high school, you never know where our story is gonna go and how it's
Mhm.
gonna impact people. But a friend of mine from high school, we weren't even super close friends in high school, but when after you get old and you go on Facebook
Yeah.
and you stay in touch with
Reconnect.
people. Yeah, yeah, you actually become closer later in life. So my friend Jessica from high school had always followed our toy drive after Hallie passed. She had
Mm,
children, and I'm sure it was powerful to her. But a few years ago, she works for United Healthcare, and they wanted to bring in a charity, and they asked their employees in Florida, "Do you know any local charities?"
mm.
So they were able to bring us in, and they filled, oh my gosh, I can't even remember. I think 500 Sparkle bags we filled.
Yeah, that was exciting. That was a really cool endeavor. A nice
That was
partnership.
insane.
It was a
Yeah,
perfect partnership.
it was really insane, and some of the people that I met through that experience still follow us on on Instagram and on our story, and they can donate their employer will donate to us through Benevity, which is an online, donation site. So, if your employer matches your donations or
Okay.
anything like that, you can find the Halle Grace Foundation through Benevity. So, I think we've collected, like $1,000 just from Benevity, which is a lot of United Healthcare employees who
That's
have used
cool.
their so that was really cool, and that's what helped us purchase so many of our toys so far this year.
Mhm.
Um, and it's super excited to keep growing. So I was able from that money, I was able to send nearly $200 help with her toy drive in North Carolina.
Oh, that's fun.
Um, and it's just fun because it gives not just me, but it gives our kids an opportunity to go shopping and to remember Hallie in a positive way.
Yeah.
So
So
it's a far cry from that first
I
year.
was gonna say,
So
now we're here 11 years later. Is there anything else that sets this year apart from other years?
yeah, so one thing I do wanna highlight, or share, it's kind of a cool story. During COVID, we couldn't collect toys. We still counted it as one of the
Oh, I
annual toy
remember that.
drives, but we asked people during COVID hospitals were not accepting outside donations because
Mhm.
they couldn't risk bringing anything in for children. So in 2020, we did a blood drive and some other things going on that year. But during that blood drive, I asked people to share pictures of when they went to
Mhm.
donate blood because it was a very difficult time in our country
Yeah.
medically, and our medical community needed support. And one of my friends and her husband both went to donate
Mm.
blood, and she came back with her laps a little off. And so her husband did his blood donation and they shared a picture and of him donating, but she was bummed she couldn't share a picture of her donating. And they said,
Mm.
you should really follow up with your provider. Or she said normally she would not have followed up with the provider. She was a little anemic. But because it was for the Halle Grace Foundation annual toy drive and
Mhm.
it was COVID and we couldn't donate toys, it was all about she wanted to share a picture of her donating blood. She followed up with her provider and it ended up going down a crazy path, and she ended up being diagnosed with blood cancer.
Oh, wow.
And it was only detected because she went back for that blood work. She said if she hadn't had the Hallie's toy drive,
Right.
to encourage her to go back to the doctor. She might not have gone before it was too late, and she didn't have a good prognosis. And it's 6 years later, and she's crazy healthy and doing amazing. And
That's amazing.
part of that is Hallie helps was her little angel to help her save her life. And so the impact the toy drive has had is on adults and kids.
Mhm.
Another impact, I just hear these great stories from the
Mm.
nurses who are giving the toys. We have a friend who's a nurse, and so she sent us pictures of kids getting them
So
one
cute.
year. 18, Neely's best friend passed away, Avery,
Mhm.
and Avery passed away from some medical issues,
Mm.
and it was very difficult because she died at the age of 15, the same as Hallie was 15.
And that was so
And so
unexpected too.
and it was
Yeah.
totally unexpected. It was a medical emergency and no one saw it coming. And Avery loved collecting little rubber
Mhm.
ducks. So that year with the toy drive with some of the money, I purchased a pack of 50 rubber ducks with all different
Oh,
costumes and
yeah, I
stuff.
remember that.
And we donated it to St. Joseph's in Children's Hospital in Tampa, their infusion clinic. And one of our friends was a nurse at the time there. And when we dropped him off, she's like, "Oh my gosh, we have a patient who collects rubber
Right.
ducks." And every time he came into the infusion clinic, she could give him new rubber
Mhm.
ducks. So it was a way to not only honor Hallie, but it was also honoring Avery. So there's some little stories like that that have happened over the years. And it's nice that we can be a part
Mm.
and hear those stories because a lot of times when you make donations, you never hear who it touches.
Yeah.
So the fact that we've had a few stories come back to share with us has been powerful, makes it more meaningful. And the fact that we're in Connecticut, Florida, North Carolina, and Illinois is absolutely insane to me. I can't believe we're at this point.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, if anybody wants to donate and share pictures, please, send them to the Halle Grace Foundation. My email's on there, and we'd love to see your donations. Or if you want to donate financially, we'll have that as well.
Mm. And with all of the outreach, what has it been like to see people show up for Hallie year after year? Because I think a lot of times, the first couple of years, it's all gung ho, where now, like you said, it's 11 years later and people keep showing up.
Yeah, that's crazy to me. One of the first people to donate every year is Justin and Mandy Reese, and
Oh,
they always donate online. Justin was a friend of John's from growing up. They were in living in Nashville when Hallie was born, and so they met her when she was a brand new
Mhm.
baby and still donates every year. She's always the
Mhm.
first one who's like, "Okay, where can I donate?"
Yep.
And it's just powerful for me that those repeat people keep coming.
Mhm.
And they're people who knew her for just a few minutes in their life or people who knew her whole life. Like your
Mhm.
family has always donated. Tracy Korn's family has always been powerful, was her Girl Scout
Yeah.
troop leader and does the toy drive in Florida. And just these amazing teachers of Hallie who will reach out and go, "Where can I donate? Where can I send a
Mhm.
check?" And family always helps and donates and sends money. And John's parents and my mom has already, she's like, "I already got Transformers and I've already got Barbies and I'm going to take them to Tracy's house here
Mm,
in Florida." And so it's super special to me to see that Hallie wasn't forgotten because that was her biggest fear was that she'd be forgotten. And it's just kind of nice to see that other people feel that love. And it's my hope that it's something we can get nationwide maybe at one point. I'd love to get some toy companies involved as well. And I know it's just powerful to me as a mom who's lost her child to see
yeah.
so many people still love her and wanna honor
Mm.
her and her day and help us heal is powerful.
I know it. As soon as springtime comes, I'll pick up a
I
bunch of stuff,
know!
and so I just constantly am scanning for stuff or walk down the clearance aisle.
Your buck,
Yeah,
you
I'll bring
know?
it home and I'll share it with the girls, and Shannon the other day, she's like, "Oh, I definitely wanna go out and go shopping and get some stuff for the toy drive." So, to me, I love that I'm able to share it with them and that we've been able to share a lot of Hallie and Neely and the family with my family, and that they're as invested as her friends were. To me, I love that my kids are wanting to go out and celebrate her as well.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see the next generation really, like, have
Mhm.
that giving heart,
Yeah.
and they knew Hallie, which is so nice to see that they still remember her and honor
Mhm.
her. They were so young, our kids were
Yeah.
young when Hallie passed, and to have Matthew help deliver 1 year and,
Yeah.
like, just those little things mean so much, and I
Mm.
don't I don't think people understand the profound impact a small $5 donation means to
Mhm.
our family. I had one student last year heard about our toy drive and donated $5.
Mhm.
And that $5 meant the world to me because she wanted to do something to make my heart happy.
That's
And
sweet.
for young people to just want to help others,
Mhm.
I think we're living in a society right now where there's a lot of animosity and hate in the world, and so if there's a way we can bring
Mhm.
back love and we can bring back joy, um, I think it's powerful, and these are the things I hope we can continue to keep alive. And then we also know that there's been cuts in Medicaid and Medicare,
Mhm.
and families just don't have the resources that they
Yeah.
need right now. So if their child's in the hospital, the last thing that they can think to afford is a new toy or a new arts and crafts thing to
Right.
distract them. So if we can support the hospitals that are supporting those children and those families,
Mhm.
then I think that's a great way we can keep supporting families in need at the most difficult time in their lives, so
I know, I think it's such a powerful way to bring joy into these spaces that can really feel heavy. It's a lot on a family to pack up every single month and go to infusion clinic and sit there for 8 hours, and sometimes you're bringing siblings along also. So when the nurse is going into the toy closet to help alleviate some of that stress that the mom is feeling, and they're trying to make it better, and they have these resources because of people like you.
yeah, it gives us so much joy just to be able to offer that to
Yeah.
families. And the irony is, for me, it doesn't get past me that we'll make these donations on June 2nd,
Mhm.
and then our youngest, B, was getting infusions at All Children's Hospital, and All Children's was one of the hospitals we had donated to. And on B's birthday, they bring in a Lego set and said, "We know you love Legos and
Mhm.
Batman," and brought in this Lego set, and I just cried because we had donated that set through the toy drive, and actually, I think
Oh.
Matthew had been one of the delivery drivers
For
because
that particular.
yeah, for that particular year, and I think B was, like, 10 or something, and, I was like, "Oh my gosh, it's coming back to my child because 'cause I'm
Like,
still a mom of kids in the
full circle.
hospital.
Mhm.
Yeah, so, I just got a good laugh that Hallie was giving me a birthday present on
Indirectly,
their
yeah.
birthday. Yeah, yeah, it was important. It was special. That was a special one.
Now let's talk about what people don't always see. I'm sure there's a lot of planning, but what goes into making this happen especially yearly and sometimes bi-yearly? Because I know sometimes you'll do a smaller collection in December.
We usually do a smaller one in Christmas because we would be giving Hallie Christmas presents, so we try to
Hmm.
do at least a smaller one then, but our big one is June 2nd. It starts in about April 1st, and I start updating our flyers, getting our promotions out. My collectors in Florida and Illinois got ahead of me. They reached out to me
Wow.
before I reached out to them. So Tracy and Lizzie reached
Mm.
out to me and we're ready to collect in Florida. And actually, Tracy Corn, for her birthday, she's asked because her birthday's in May, like mine, and she's
Mm.
asking for donations for the toy drive. And Caitlin's having her company, Pfizer. She's doing
Mm.
a collection through her office. I think she works in Wisconsin, but they deliver to the Children's Hospital in Chicago, Illinois, because they're
Mhm.
right on the state line. And so Pfizer has been phenomenal to allow her to promote it with their employees
That
in
is
that
awesome.
area. And so it's reaching out to those people. It's looking at our donations that we've had throughout the year. How can we allocate them to our different
Mhm.
sites? And it's like Christmas when deliveries start coming. We
Mhm.
haven't had a lot of deliveries personally right yet. We haven't started getting some in. And that's why we're doing the Amazon wish list. So people can just go on the wish list and we'll deliver it to our house and then we'll deliver it to the hospital. But it is super fun because we did have quite a few financial donations throughout the year where I I think I spent $850 in one day at
Yeah,
Five Below and Target and
that was
all these
impressive.
different. That was a fun
Mm.
shopping day, and I bought 30 Squishmallows and, 30, coloring books and boxes of crayons and Play-Doh and arts and crafts and Barbie dolls and Matchbox cars and all these different toys, and I got 10, baby toys because babies are in the hospital too,
Yeah.
and being able to offer them and sometimes some toys, stay with the child life department. It's at the hospital's discretion, and some go home with the children. But however we can help those hospitals supplement those toys. It's just a lot of fun. I think that was the best shopping spree I had, $850 and maybe 2.5 hours. I'm like, how did I spend that much in that short a time? But don't worry, if you make the donation, I will make sure it is spent and it goes to children in need most. So our goal is to eventually include Boston Children's Hospital as well as
Mm.
Connecticut Children's Hospital in New England because Boston Children's is special to Avery, Neely's friend, so
Yeah,
that would be good for us. So, we'd like to be able to expand our horizons and get over to Boston, so maybe we'll get some New England donations where we can get up there.
that would be awesome. So this is what we mean when we say strength happens. It's in showing up over and over again.
11 years and counting, so
Yep.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, if someone's listening and wants to be a part of this journey, how do you think that they could help you the best way?
I'm sure we can include this in the show notes, but there's a link to the Halle Grace Foundation. You can find us at thehallegracefoundation.org, O-R-G. And Halle spelled Halle, thehallegracefoundation.org. And there's a section that says donate now, and you can click on that. You can donate through Venmo, you can donate through PayPal, whatever you're comfortable with.
Mhm.
We also have a link to our Amazon wish list where you can go on Amazon and go toy shopping. You can
Mhm.
buy something off the list and they will be delivered directly to our house so that we can take them to the children in the hospital. Additional ways, if your employer does work with Benevity,
Mhm.
Benevity offers you to identify the organization that you want to support with your financial donation or the company's contribution. You can search the Halle Grace Foundation in Benevity's search engine and earmark us as your charity of choice. Or you could just go out and go shopping yourself. If you live near one of our local toy drives, you can deliver it to us or go to the hospital and deliver it to a group of nurses who are welcoming with open arms any toy drives and take a picture of your donations and please email it to us, message us on Instagram or TikTok at Strength Happens or the Halle Grace Foundation, and we would love to share your donation story.
Yeah, you're really good about highlighting every year when and you get a delivery from Amazon or Target or wherever, and then
I
you'll
know.
highlight the pictures and you'll do a whole little TikTok or something on it.
Yes, you can find us on Instagram on the Halle Grace Foundation or and we post up on those. I know I was just thinking of the Reese family who made the first donation. I shopped with their money, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't thanked them yet." I was gonna thank them and my United Healthcare workers who've been donating through Benevity so that they can see what their donation is going towards.
Well, leading up to the toy drive and the final delivery, we'll make sure we'll have lots of information on socials and so that way you know how to get involved, and we'll have all the information in our show notes.
Absolutely, and we will give you, as Janine said, we'll give you updates on how far we've come, and we'd love to have you be part of Hallie's story. I think one of the things Hallie always dreamed of was being a history teacher, and I always think every time I share her story or something to keep her name alive is allowing her to become that history teacher, and she's having an impact far beyond anything she could have ever imagined.
Well, and after 11 years, what has this tradition taught you?
Oh, that's a big question. It's taught me that love and generosity is still so prevalent in our world despite so much negativity and pain in our world right now. It's just such a beautiful thing to see after 11 years. We're still getting people remembering Hallie. And it's taught me that Hallie had nothing to fear because we will keep saying her name
Mm.
and we will keep her legacy alive.
And I don't think that that's going to be a problem because she, between your voice and anyone that knew Hallie, I think that that will never be a problem.
She was a fierce thing,
She
a
was.
little one to deal with. She was a little 5 feet nothing, and she was fierce and pretty cool kid.
And what do you hope people take away when they hear about Hallie?
Uh, ugh, she wrote a speech in 4th grade, and it was called "Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover." So, a lot of Hallie's disabilities were invisible, and she lived every single day in pain, and, I hope people take away when they hear about Hallie's story that you never know what someone's going through, especially young people. And if you hear that there's a young person in need, reach out, give them a hug, give them love, give them support. And when families have children in the hospital, those are some times that they need to be remembered. And I hope that people hear when they hear Hallie's story that it's not just a one time thing
Mhm.
with chronic illness and chronic disabilities. These kids and these families need our supports for the long term. So continue to check on your friends with kids with disabilities, continue to love those children, and just be there for them in any way you can.
I think to me, that's the epitome of strength happens.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we talk a lot about strength on this podcast.
Yeah, and yeah, we do, and, sometimes it looks like showing up on the hardest day of the year, and I may have tears now, but I truly find so much joy in this. It's a gift for me to be able to talk about her and say her name, and I appreciate our listeners letting me have that gift today.
Well, and I love when you share stories about Hallie because it brings a smile to both of us. And you've chosen to turn a very hard, difficult day into something that brings light to someone else.
That's what the Halle Grace Toy Drive is all about, bringing joy.
Hmm? I think that's our word for the day. That'll be my word in my journal today, joy.
Oh, yes, you'll have to share it with me, and I'll put it on the blog for
Yeah.
this week.
And well, thank you for being here and for being part of this community.
This is Strength Happens.